My name is Landon Hacker, and my clean date is December 1st, 2011.
What brought you into treatment here at Solstice?
A lot of judicial intervention. So I did not come to treatment willingly. I did not want treatment at all when I first got involved with Solstice. Drug court sent me, or now known as recovery court, sent me to Solstice. So I pled into drug court was sentenced into drug court July of 2011 and graduated in September of 2012. And while I was on recovery court, part of my stipulation was to go to treatment, and they sent me to Solstice.
What were some of the fears that you might have had coming into treatment, or stereotypes that you heard about treatment?
I didn't have fear of treatment. I knew what it was. I've been to many treatment programs before, inpatient, outpatient, at a variety of places. There was no real reservation coming into treatment. I just knew I had to go, because if I didn't, the alternative was go to jail. So.
Did you have a negative experience at any of those other treatment centers?
Sure, I had negative experiences at a lot of other treatment facilities and centers, both inpatient and outpatient. But what separated Solstice, it was under very different circumstances too. I was never, court mandated to go to treatment until I went to Solstice. So it was under different circumstances. And, thinking back on it, maybe most of my negative experiences with other treatment centers were because of my unwillingness to follow the rules and do what I was supposed to do to be successful in those programs.
I know you had to be here, but what was your first impression of Solstice?
I thought it was dope because they had a pool table, a ping pong table, and it wasn't really like any other outpatient program I had been before. It was truly, I felt comfortable there. It was a relaxed environment. It was fun. I looked forward to going. I don't know if it was because it got me out of court early that day, but I didn't mind being there.
What do you think it was about Solstice that helped you make a change?
So when I was at Solstice, we had both individual counseling sessions and group sessions, and I thought both were very beneficial to recovery and treatment.
Where do you feel like you made a change?
So for me, I feel as if the change came about in the individual counseling sessions. Although I enjoy the group sessions, I'm not so much of a group sharer, and I just felt more comfortable one-on-one with a counselor. What I think attributed to the long-standing change is being active in my recovery. Once I completed recovery court, there was no more court mandate to do anything, meetings, individual sessions, group sessions, or anything for that matter. And I think that's where the true test comes. Once you graduate from recovery court, just to continue to use the tools that were given to us in recovery court and at our treatment facilities, Solstice for me, and just stay active in your recovery, keep a network, go to meetings, and be engaged.
What one tool do you always carry with you?
One thing that always stuck with me was to ask when you need help. That was, for me, one of the biggest and most difficult things to ever do in my active addiction and when I first got clean was, first and foremost admitting that I needed help, whether not just substance use related or drug related, but anything in my life, and then to actually ask somebody for that help. So
what have you been doing since Solstice?
Since graduating from recovery court and the Solstice program, I have since went back to school. I got my bachelor's degree from Rutgers in Camden. I stayed there for law school, graduated from law school at Rutgers in Camden, and I am now an attorney, and I work for the Camden Coalition, and I have the honor and privilege of getting to provide legal services to people with substance use and mental health issues. So myself, along with Rob and Ashley, we are the founding fathers and founding mother of the Burlington County, Camden County Recovery Court Alumni Association. We formed the Camden County and Burlington County Recovery Court Alumni Association, and Dan and the rest of his team were gracious enough to allow us to use Solstice here in Cherry Hill as our meeting spot.
Tell us about these meetings.
We meet for now on a monthly basis. We hope to meet more as we attract new members. All are welcome, doesn't matter what county, and we most encourage active participants. You don't have to be a graduate from recovery court to be in the Alumni Association. We strongly encourage those who are currently on the program to get engaged and come to our meetings early so you can hook up with an alumni and the group and network and figure things out. So this is our Recovery Court Alumni Association flyer. We meet the first Friday of every month here at Solstice in Cherry Hill. If you want more information about it or you want to come, you can contact myself, Ashley, or Rob, and our contact information is below. Our Recovery Court Alumni Association meetings are the opposite of what you may think a meeting is. It's not like an AA or NA meeting or any other 12-step or religious group meeting. It's literally just a bunch of alumni and current participants. We get together here at Solstice, we hang out, and we make it whatever the participants and members want to do. Sometimes we hang out for a half hour, a couple hours, and try and schedule events outside of Solstice.
And what is the goal of the meetings?
The goal of the Recovery Court Alumni Association meetings is just to network and build a recovery support group. So if you ever need anything or you have any issues and you don't want to go to your network in your 12-step group or religious group, you have us to go to.
If court didn't send you to Solstice, where would you be right now?
If Recovery Court didn't send me to treatment, I'd likely either be dead or in prison.
And where are you now?
I'm a lawyer and I have a job and a home. So if you're suffering with like substance use issues or a mental health issue and you're not sure what to do or who to call, you can contact a treatment provider like Solstice and try and get some help before it becomes an even bigger problem. So my pathway to recovery was not by choice and not by willingness, but by judicial intervention and by pretty much court-mandated force. So prior to entering into recovery court, I spent the majority of my adult life either homeless, locked up, in and out of jail, or in some kind of institution or facility as a result of my drug addiction. And you can only get arrested and pick up so many felonies so many times before you get sent to prison for a very long time. So on December 1st, 2011 was the last time I was arrested, and I was forced with a decision whether I want to spend the rest of my life in jail or in prison or on the streets where I would surely end up dead, or take a chance on recovery court. I sat in jail for close to 9 months. I had multiple felonies out of 3 or 4 different counties, a couple violations of probation, and it was either give recovery court a chance or go to prison for a very, very long time. Rehabs didn't work, inpatient programs didn't work, probation didn't work, nothing ever seemed to work. So when I was presented with the recovery court option, I just thought to myself, like, I had nothing to lose by trying. And I always like to say, when you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. So what did I have to lose? And I took recovery court. I got on the recovery court at the time when I got sentenced on. I was still homeless. I was living in an attic in a church in Mount Holly, and then found my way to an Oxford house in Burlington and just started following the directions of the program and Solstice. The more I stayed clean and the more I progressed in recovery court and with my plan at Solstice and continued to do the right thing, good things in my life started happening. Like I got a job, I was able to have a roof over my head. And the more I acquired the things in life that I wanted to have, to me, that was like my breakthrough, that something in my life is working, something different is happening. And so I just continued on that path, and here I am today. My first job in recovery court actually was being a mail clerk at a law firm in Cherry Hill. So I applied to dozens of places and I could not get a job because I was a convicted felon. So I reached out to the attorney who helped me get on recovery court, and she made some phone calls and actually got me a job at her friend's law firm, being a mail clerk there. And that's where I worked for 9 years throughout my entire undergrad, law school, and kept moving up there. In my mind, I wanted to help people that are in a position I was once in. And to me, the best way I could possibly do that was to become a good lawyer. So what I do today is I work for the Camden Coalition, which is a nonprofit, and a part of what the Camden Coalition does is we have partnerships with medical providers, Cooper Center for Healing being one of them, Maryville being another one of them, and other medical providers that provide substance use and mental health treatment. And I, along with another colleague of mine, provide pro bono legal services to all of their patients. So I predominantly practice a lot of criminal law, criminal defense, municipal work, family law, like DV, custody, DCP&P matters, landlord-tenant, eviction representation, like defense representation in eviction matters, benefit appeal denials, name it, we do it.
How does what you've been through help you help your clients?
Because I know what my clients are going through. I've been in their situation, in their shoes before, and I can have a very real, comfortable conversation with them that they've never had with any other lawyer that they've ever had. I mean, every day I get to help people like myself, so it's awesome.